The following is an HDNet News and Documentaries presentation.
Tonight on World Report. It's the dark side of Las Vegas. Behind the dazzling lights, wild animal performers live and work in confinement.
What really happens to an animal on a daily basis, from going from a small cage environment to a transport cage into a truck, going backstage, sitting there for hours and hours till they get their 15 seconds on stage, then they're loaded back into a box. They got to wait till the show is over, 1 o'clock in the morning to transport it back to their facility, going back. That's not a life for an animal, certainly not for a wild animal like this.
Now, thanks to a former Vegas magician, mistreated, injured, or just plain old show animals have a safe, cruelty-free place to retire, trading center stage for sanctuary. All this tonight on World Report. Now, here's Safe Haven, Wild Animals, Tame Surroundings.
Tina Madiak and Jonathan Kraft have a pet Siamese cat named Simon, but that's not what we want to show you. They also have this pet parrot.
This is Bogey. He's a lilac-crested Amazon.
And iguanas.
This is one of our iguanas. I call him a lizard on a stick.
There's also an African tortoise here named Bob. As a tribute to his speed, they call him Breakaway Bob. And a pair of boa constrictors which could literally squeeze the life out of you, but that's not really what we want to show you either.
What you doing? What you doing? Yeah, that's what he's doing.
This is. Jonathan and Tina run a sanctuary, not just for lizards and parrots and turtles and snakes, but for lions and tigers and everything from llamas to ostriches to monkeys to ravens to wolves. Any creature that's been abused or abandoned, injured, neglected, retired, or just outgrown the ability of its owner to keep it is welcome here. They call this place, nestled in a canyon off Route 66 in western Arizona, Keepers of the Wild, because that's what they do.
You know, these animals, once they're taken, they're put into captivity, which is not right from the get-go, but we've, as humans, taken that away as soon as we decide we're going to make them a pet or a showbiz cat or whatever we're going to do with them. We take away their rights. So now it's our responsibility to make sure they have a quality of life, and that's what we do here.
The whole premise of having a baby tiger and have it grow up with you, and that makes it tame, is ridiculous. It's absolutely insane. So
anybody who thinks that is not going to live through your kind of
exactly. And so I wish people would just stop that. That's nonsense.
You could say Jonathan Kraft found that out the hard way. In the 1990s, with a partner, he was a magician in Las Vegas, and big cats, cougars, leopards, lions, and tigers were a key part of their act. But Jonathan began to believe he was exploiting the cats.
What really happens to an animal on a daily basis, from going from a small cage environment to a transport cage into a truck, going backstage, sitting there for hours and hours till they get their 15 seconds on stage, then they're loaded back into a box. They got to wait till the show is over, 1 o'clock in the morning to transport it back to their facility, going back. That's not a life for an animal, certainly not for a wild animal like this.
So he went from exploiter to rescuer, which is probably why this adolescent lion named Anthony is even still alive.
What you doing? This little guy here actually in the animal trade.
No helping. Come on.
In the animal trade, this little guy.
Be nice.
When he was 2.5 weeks old, he was a surplus cat from a little zoo in West Virginia. He was auctioned off there, and he was sold to a dog breeder in Washington, and she decided to sell him to somebody in Canada. So he was going to be illegally maneuvered out of the country, and thank God we heard about him, and so we intervened. This little guy traveled thousands and thousands of miles at the age of 2.5 weeks old. Kind of disgusting.
When the woman who planned to make money selling Anthony on the internet learned how much trouble she could be in for owning him illegally, she handed him over to Keepers of the Wild.
Come here.
Oh my goodness. Oh my Lord. Look at me. But you know, they look really, really cute when they're this little, but the public just doesn't understand.
No.
This is a wild animal. No matter how close you stay to them, this guy is going to grow within a year. He'll be 300 pounds.
Yep.
And, you know, they become very, very dangerous. Particularly lions are really full of testosterone.
What do you think possesses people to have a little baby lion, which is inevitably is going to get to be a great big lion?
Well, I will tell you personally, that's my opinion, is I think a lot of it's ego.
Right.
You know, that it's like, well, I can do this.
It's a macho thing.
I can make this animal love me. I can make it a pet. And it's cute and cuddly when it's little, but they don't want to look at the forward thought. Okay, what when it does get big, when it gets dangerous? No, because I'm going to raise it, it's going to love me, and it's never going to hurt me.
It's kind of like a lot of people want to own a pit bull, and they want to own a pit bull for all the wrong reasons.
Today, just 7 months after they rescued Anthony, you can see how much this baby cub already has grown. When we were in his enclosure, I could sure see it. Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Shouldn't I be scared?
No, not really, because he is still a youngster, and of course he can do some damage, and he is fully intact. But no, he is just still really playful. He's at that stage where he just really, he's not a lion yet, you know what I mean? And but once they become once they become about 1.5 years old, they get a lot more aggressive, you know.
Ouch, that hurts.
Yeah, he's getting a little bit.
Those little nips on you.
You're just getting a little bit aggressive, aren't you, huh? See, he wants to play, and
I don't think you're going to play with me.
Hey,
be nice.
I'm not quite used to you yet.
Be nice.
be nice.
I live to tell the story, but when Jonathan and Tina showed us what Anthony is made of, well,
Look at the hooks on this guy. Look at that.
oh my gosh.
Look at those.
And
They sort of pop out there.
Oh yeah.
his top teeth, no. His top teeth are starting to come in too. His back molars.
And when you see Sultan, a full-grown male, with the hooks, the molars, all fully developed, you see why Anthony won't stay playful forever.
Come on, big boy. Come on.
Sultan is an African lion. Like Anthony, he was about to be auctioned off, probably for an illegal trophy hunt, when Keepers of the Wild got to him first. He's been here now for 10 of his 11 years. Now, do you actually recognize his growl? Is it a hungry growl versus an angry growl?
Yeah, it's an angry growl. Right now, he's very food aggressive. Lions do that. Now, after he's finished eating, he'll stay like that, but 15-20 minutes go by, and then he's fine. Then you can pet him again.
You can pet him. Sultan lives alone. But as you might have noticed earlier, not Anthony. Although a cat, he actually cohabitates with a coyote, which is a dog. What's that about?
And since I know, if you see the camera move a lot, that means the cameraman is getting attacked.
I know. I keep trying to tell him we can't afford it.
They were kind of raised together, and we thought, well, they probably won't be long together. But you know, it's absolutely, you can see what she does. I mean, she takes the food out of his mouth. We got 2 den boxes. They choose to sleep in one. And so they really get along well. Whether or not I'll have to remove her in the future, I don't think so, but we're certainly not going to take any chances in case he gets too aggressive. Then we would do that. But you have been such a good boy. So far, so good, huh? So far, so good.
This sanctuary has grown over 17 years beyond the original objective of a safe house for big cats. Way beyond.
Hi! What you doing? Now this old boy was wandering around in Las Vegas at the senior at Sun City, and animal control basically got him, and they would have put him down, and he would end up in God knows where. So we've had him now for a long, long time. He's a real good boy. but he is a wild burro, and you're really a good boy, aren't you, huh?
But, I mean, your expertise, I mean, it began with big cats.
Big cats, yeah.
And you expanded. So if somebody gives you a wild burro, how do you even know what to do with and for?
Yeah, you just have to do a little research and a lot of love. And this guy now, he's so old, he's got what they call choke. And so he's on a very special diet. He cannot eat any grasses or anything like that because his tongue will hang out of his mouth and he'll start choking. And so he has to have this senior equine diet. And that way he can get much older, huh, Caesar? Yeah. You're
him between about 26 to 30 years old.
Yeah. He's up there. Yeah. Now this guy is very aggressive, and he will try to bite and peck and kick. So this is a typical ostrich, and the males get very, very aggressive. Come here, Q. And the reason we keep him separate because he will actually attack my deer and kick him. And now they have a 500 pound per square inch kicking power, and they can gut a lion. And Annie was rescued. That's actually how we started with ostriches. We had one, believe it or not, that a couple had bought for their 10-year-old kid. And, you know, the ostrich was only this big, but didn't they realize that in a year from now it'd be that big and it'd be potentially deadly. This is not a pet. You know what I mean? It's definitely not a pet.
They say that's even true of the monkeys. They can be irresistibly playful.
Look what I got. Give me a kiss. Come up here. Give me a kiss. Oh, thank you. Give me 5. Billy. He's looking at her. Billy. Billy, give me 5. Oh, you like her, huh? Yeah, we all go ape for her. Here, Billy. Here you go. Here, come here. Open your mouth. Open your mouth.
But in their playfulness, some of these monkeys can get so aggressive, the staff here at Keepers of the Wild is allowed to feed them only from outside their cages.
There you go, handsome. Here, Cinder, you want to eat up here?
Billy. Hey.
Jonathan, PJ is right behind you.
Oh. Not a big deal.
As signs in the office here warn as a constant reminder, wherever there are wild animals, there are dangers. One of Jonathan's tricks, typical of many but not all trainers, is to talk baby talk with the animals, raising his voice only when he has to. So far, so good.
Hi, big boys. And these guys were extremely aggressive, and you can see what a love bugs they are now. Would I go in there and roll on the ground with him? No. But if we had to, look at him.
Rolling on the ground.
Rolling on the ground. So he's trying to invite me, and that would be a big mistake. And you see, and there's no reason to interact. You're such a good, you want me to get you some. See, they're chuffing like that. They're saying hello. Normally, these cats wouldn't have made it. They would have put them down.
Coming up, though it looks like fun, taking care of wild animals is dangerous work.
Our rule is complacency kills. If you ever want to doubt that this animal is not a wild animal with its natural instincts that will take that opportunity, you will get hurt or killed.
But the rewards can be priceless. That's next. World Report continues. Once again, here's correspondent Greg Dobbs with Safe Haven. Wild animals, tame surroundings.
Ruckus, hi.
For everyone here who deals with the animals, though, danger is all in a day's work, like cleaning up after the tigers.
Come on, Malachi. Good boy. Oh, good boy. All right, so just Marilyn out.
Well, that's all right. Just leave her out. We'll go in and clean.
Okay.
5 tigers lived together in this enclosure, but only 4 took the bait and came into the cage, which means 1 is still loose. Marilyn.
And so we kind of keep an eye on each other, you know.
Let's find her.
They have to go in. Daily inspections of the tigers' habitats are critical.
Still got a visual?
Yeah, she's up over there behind the rock.
Yeah.
And one of the critical things they do daily?
And we're on the hunt for tiger poop.
And it may not be a very appetizing discussion, but you know, we do have to look at it. If we think there's something wrong with the stool, we'll take him to our vet, and they'll take him to the lab, and they check him out to see if there's anything wrong with the cat, or if we notice that there's blood in their stool. Kind of like the same thing with humans, you know, no difference.
Another daily danger: walking cautiously to check out conditions in the enclosure with mountain lions.
Now this is typical mountain lion habitat.
They call this one Baby, but don't be fooled. Baby is a lion, which means...
And we're actually standing here and, what, 15 feet behind you guys.
Right.
Is...
Baby.
You know what people don't understand?
Mountain lion.
What they see, you know, mountain lion is not a very big cat if you compare it to the boys across here that are 600-pounders. That cat can take down a horse with quite ease and kill it.
Okay, but you're both standing here with your backs turned to that cat.
Oh yeah, well, you know.
Well, we'll watch your face if we see a, you know,
We have
a really wild expression. We'll know.
My face will freeze.
Our rule is complacency kills. If you ever want to doubt that this animal is not a wild animal with its natural instincts that will take that opportunity, you will get hurt or killed.
Hi, baby. Yeah.
That's not aggressive.
It's not aggressive. It's a warning sign. Yeah. Just letting her know that you're in my space, and we respect that. I'm not going to push the boundaries, and so that's good. You know, I'm happy that we can get this close to her. You know, that's good enough for us. Just because I can't hug her doesn't mean I don't love her the same. It's just one of those things, you know, with some cats, we actually have a different relationship with every animal on the property. And so some we don't interact with, some we do.
When they really do get close, when they have to, is when an animal is sick. Like Anthony.
He's real easy to give pills to, thank God. Here, Pumpkin, come here. There you go. Look. Oh, you want to do one more? Yeah. Give me another piece, honey.
Here he comes.
Here. Anthony. And give me some for the coyote, too.
But it's not so easy with some of the others.
Hand feeding a cougar usually isn't the smartest thing to do, so you want to try to keep your fingers out of the way. But if you notice, he keeps chewing, and he's got real problems still swallowing until that's why we give him liver. It slides down a little easier. Huh.
He actually, being that he's 18 years old, he started early stages of renal failure. So he started just seeming lethargic. He wasn't acting right. He wasn't eating.
And so, you know, in the beginning when he got really sick, I would just crawl in with him just like this. And we just go lay down. Huh? You can see how he's rubbing on me. He's just loving that I'm in here with him. You're just such a good boy. And so it shows you that they do want help, you know, because if, for instance, the cougar across the way over there, even though I can handle him, I wouldn't think about crawling in a den box with him. Maybe if he was sick, I would, but not just when he is full-blown healthy.
That makes two of us.
Yeah. Go, Pumpkin, you're such a good boy. You can hear him purring, huh? You purr?
Jonathan and Tina considered putting Bam Bam to sleep.
I gotta go now. We gotta go clean the park.
But he was just too playful, too lovable, too much fun. They wanted to give him one more chance to live.
Give me the pill popper. And so what I have to do is I have to make sure that he gets these pills in him.
Really no different than giving a pill to a child.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
A little more dangerous, but...
Yeah. Suffer some damage.
See, now he's purring. Are you purring? Hey. Do I get a kiss?
Liver lips.
Yeah. It's very, very unusual for a mountain lion to be this. I don't want to use the word tame because he's still a wild animal, obviously, but he's been around people quite a bit, and And in addition to that, of course, because he is sick, they really do let you help him.
Yes.
I mean, we've got tigers we can go in with and give them shots and give them fluids because they know they need it. And then once they're back feeling their oats again, then you know, it's stay away from me. And you know, they really are smart, and they do have a thought process, and they do thank you for helping them. Right. You know, a lot of people think that it is nonsense, but it's not. I mean, this is a perfect example.
Feeding time, whether it's the monkeys or the small cats.
Oh, these guys over here jump like crazy.
Or the big ones, is not to be missed. They go through 300 pounds of meat here and another 300 pounds of grains and grasses and pellets. That's 600 pounds of food a day. The beef is USDA choice. Jonathan says at livestock auctions, he's competing against McDonald's.
So what does it cost per tiger?
Well, it costs us, we go through, each cat, these guys here eat about 10 pounds of meat a day. The meat costs me about $2 a pound, so that's $20 a day. That's $600. That's $600 per month per cat, and that doesn't include any vitamins or their enclosures.
Every species has a specific diet. Sometimes every animal a specific amount. For the primates and reptiles, a creative concoction with carrots and cabbage and kale, French bread and Cheez-Its. For the monkeys, it all has to be the right size, too. But it all costs money. The annual budget here, north of $1 million. Some comes from tourists paying admission fees to see the animals, and they seem to get their money's worth.
Unlike most cats that go for the throat kill, she actually would sneak up behind and go for the skull crushing kill. She can crush through a turtle shell in seconds flat. And if you were to hear her in the wild, you would probably have a heart attack, drop to your knees, and poop your pants. Because she sounds like a demon from the pits of hell.
But most of the money to keep this sanctuary alive, money for food and medicine, enclosures and employees, comes through fundraising from animal groups and animal lovers, and you never know when they'll need even more.
Is there any creature you would not take?
No, not really. I mean,
an alligator.
People maybe.
An alligator?
Yeah. We just had a call yesterday for an alligator. I
just
said, no,
because it's not the right conditions for him.
Call the zoo.
Capabilities right now. But eventually, if we had to.
Hippopotamus, rhinoceros.
Yeah, I mean, we would have to,
figure it out.
Right.
You'd have to figure it out. We certainly have the room for them, but there's when you start dealing with
a lot of dynamics.
With elephants, you're talking about huge amounts of money for squeeze cages and holding areas and so on and so forth.
Tara.
And even while we were here, the costs went up yet again.
Hey, smells like somebody pooped, huh? Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, Merc.
Oh, yeah.
Samson. Come over here. What's up, buddy?
What's up was this orange tiger named Mercury.
Bring your butt around.
And this white Bengal named Samson belonged to a Las Vegas magician who has 5 tigers, but because of the terms of a contract to perform in Asia, he's only allowed to take 3. So he turned over the other 2 to Keepers of the Wild. The performer giving up 2 of his tigers is Rick Thomas.
What would you have done if you had to leave 2 tigers behind when you go to South Korea and you didn't have a sanctuary like this?
The worst, if I say this to some people, they'll be very upset. I'd have to try to get a zoo to take them. That'd be a bummer. I don't want my tigers to go to a zoo.
Now, they won't. But you don't just throw in 2 new tigers to the mix that's already here, which is why Jonathan gave a special warning to his staff.
Now, you got to remember something when there's new animals come in and their behavior, even though these cats are well-traveled and have traveled all over the world, stay very calm. All of our other animals, when you working with the animals today, remember, they can sense, even though they can't see them, they can sense there's new animals on the property. So be on your toes, be extra careful. They can get more aggressive because of new animals. You know how curious they get.
Then cages had to be erected. The new arrivals would be quarantined for a month. Everything from their health to their habits to their personalities will be evaluated. Although he's already got 18 tigers to take care of, Jonathan Kraft just couldn't turn the new ones away.
How do you say no to two animals that have been on stage, worked their butts off all their lives, and then they have to retire, God knows, in a little place? You know, not due to the fault of the entertainer, but what does he do with them if you're moving out of the country? So, very difficult to say no in a situation like that, and I feel that the animals deserve to have a nice space to retire in, and we plan to definitely provide that for them.
Okay.
The first tiger, Mercury, is released from his transport cage to his new home for the next month.
That's good enough.
For now. Oh yeah, well, that's normal reaction.
Mercury is 9, and to quote Rick Thomas, he is just trained, not tamed.
The animals are dangerous and you can never turn your back on them. You just can't put your guard down for a moment.
Samson, 16, is the second new cat to inspect his new surroundings.
Look at the food, Samson. You're a mess, buddy.
We'll clean him up.
Thankfully, Samson's meat is more appetizing than our camera. It took a little longer to tempt the more mercurial Mercury, but eventually he too got settled in his new home. And then, with the tigers taken care of, the magician, Rick, revealed an important decision about his act once he comes home again.
Basically, I talked myself out of performing with my tigers.
Right. And then you're planning to continue your show without animals?
Without animals.
Without animals. Good for you, man.
Yep.
Great.
Thank you.
Great, great, great. There is a bill now being presented in Congress to stop using animals in circuses, and I hope it passes. It has in other countries. It needs to be done in this country.
Of course, that'll mean more animals coming your way.
Yeah, but then at least that is just for their lifetime. Maybe, hopefully, the next generation can live in the wild. He's defending his food right now.
At Keepers of the Wild, they don't want to see more animals born into captivity, which is why, once an animal is moved here, it is made incapable of breeding. And that's part of the point of this place. When an animal already is captive, they don't consider it ideal. They just want to take the best care of it that they can.
These guys are in great care, the animals that come here, you know, because now you know you've saved a life.
Right.
And that's the most rewarding part of it. You've made a difference for one more animal.
Why wouldn't you go into a safer business?
Well, because somebody's got to do this. You know, Tina and I just absolutely love doing what we do. You know, when you see the little bit of interaction that we get, like with Bam Bam or with Anthony, that makes it all worth it.
Samson and Mercury are only the newest residents at Keepers of the Wild. They won't be the last.